Join us every Wednesday for In Focus, a weekly talk show produced by the St. Kitts Nevis Information Service, where we provide exclusives with key persons within the government and discuss pertinent, relevant, and interesting matters that affect us all. Tune in every Wednesday, live on ZIZ Radio and streamed live on Facebook at SKNIS Media and ZIZ Online. In Focus, your government, your business.
Make me some music.
Listen, you hear that song? It's Nostalgia on ZIZ Radio from 1 to 3 in the afternoon on Thursdays. On Nostalgia, everybody has a good voice, so relax and go in the zone with us. Get your songbook, look in the index, find the song that is playing, and sing along. Join ZIZ Radio every Thursday from 1 to 3 for Nostalgia. It's music to soothe you right where it hurts. ZIZ Radio, touching you with variety and style.
From the heart of ZIZ Radio comes a political talk show like no other. The Edge, with host Devonne Cornelius giving you his take on the biggest stories happening in governance today. Got something to say? Let's hear it. Give us a call at 869-465-2555, Monday to Friday from 11 a.m. to 12 noon. One solid hour of in-depth analysis of the machinery that makes our country tick. The Edge, cutting into the matters at hand.
The views and opinions expressed by participants and callers during this program are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or policies of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, its management, or sponsors. The station accepts no responsibility for statements made. Good morning, St. Kitts and Nevis, and welcome to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on the program for today, keeping you informed, engaged, and in the know. And so we're going to dive into some of today's top stories from local updates regarding what's happening here in St. Kitts and Nevis. You know, we have the St. Kitts Music Festival coming up, Cultural Number 51, and then to an international tragedy that has rocked the aviation world. Before we continue, the numbers to call when we open the phone lines are 467-1977 or 1903, or you may call us at 662-8674. That's our cell number. This conversation is being carried live via our social media platforms. Facebook is ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, and YouTube ZIZ Online. And of course, we are also on TV Channel 5. Thank you for tuning in. I want to begin firstly on a somber note by expressing condolences to the family and friends of someone who we all knew as Culture. I've received word that he passed away, I believe it was on Sunday, earlier this week, and so I express on behalf of all of us here at ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, management and staff, sincere condolences to his family and friends as they mourn his loss. The last time I heard from Culture, I think it was late last year, I believe. Late last year, perhaps earlier in the year. And I remember someone had called in to say that he was ill for some time, but after I didn't hear him, calling in, I figured he was ill or maybe just, taking a break or whatever. And so I recently learned of his passing. And again, on behalf of all of us here at ZIZ, we extend our deepest condolences to the family and friends of Culture. You would know Culture as someone who was an avid radio listener. He called into the programs here in St. Kitts and Nevis, this one of course, and he made a contribution to the national discourse, to the discourse. He made a contribution to the conversation on a number of topics, a number of matters here in St. Kitts and Nevis, from politics to the environment, social issues such as crime and violence. Culture was a voice, and a distinct and unique voice. And so we extend once more condolences to his family. The Culturama Secretariat is extending sincere thanks to Core Entertainment and the Core Juve Troupe for their long-standing contribution to the Juve experience on Emancipation Monday. Since their launch in 2011, Core has become a household name in Culturama, and their impact on the cultural calendar is deeply appreciated. The Culturama Committee issued the statement yesterday in an effort to provide some clarification. The statement reads, now this year, Core will not be hosting their usual Long Jam Juve Troupe. According to the Secretariat, this is due to personal matters affecting key members of the Core team. We send them strength and remain hopeful for their full return in the future. That said, Core Band will still be performing on the Long Jam route, so you'll still get to vibe with them on the road. And the Long Jam is definitely still on for Emancipation Monday, August 4th, 2025. And the available troops are Gabriella's Long Jam Posse, Illa Mask Juve Troupe, and Five Trees Juve Troupe. So the clarification is Core is not going to have a troupe, but they're still going to be participating in Long Jam. The band is still going to be there, but they're not going to have their usual troupe like they did last year and previous years. The Secretariat also clarified that for years the Culturama Committee has taken care of the major costs for local bands, things like trailers, speakers, and logistics. And the troops handle their own packages for sale to the public. So with most of the groundwork already done, a future agreement with Core is well within reach, the statement said. Culturama remains a celebration of our heritage and freedom, and the team is committed to making Culturama 51 safe, energetic, and unforgettable. Division Pride, second to none. Culturama 51 is the theme or the slogan chosen for this year's celebration of the festival, which begins on July 24th to August 5th. I hope I got the dates correct. But that is the clarification. Core Band will still be on the Long Jam route. However, they won't have a troop. And I know after Core issued a statement, there was some misunderstanding. Persons were looking for clarification as to exactly what is going to happen on Emancipation Monday. And the Cultural Committee has since clarified that there will still be a Long Jam, but Core would not have or will not have their usual troop. Now on to a much more somber note. The world is mourning after an Air India Dreamliner crashed just minutes after takeoff in India on Wednesday. The flight was bound for London and carrying 230 passengers and 12 crew members. Tragically, reports indicate that there were no survivors. The aircraft crashed into a residential area near a medical college, killing several people on the ground, including 5 medical students. More than 200 bodies have already been recovered. This marks the first fatal crash involving a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, an aircraft considered one of the safest in modern aviation. Reactions have been pouring in. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi called the crash heartbreaking. I'm also seeing where the King Charles and the UK's Prime Minister have both expressed shock and sadness, especially with 53 British nationals reportedly among the dead. An investigation is now underway, with Indian authorities leading and international experts standing by to assist. Early reports suggest the plane may have failed to climb properly and crashed with its landing gear still down. Meanwhile, Boeing's stock dropped almost 8% as the company faces renewed scrutiny. Our thoughts are with all those affected by this heartbreaking event. We have a caller on the line. We'll take our first call for the morning. Hello, caller. Good morning. You are on the air. Okay, we lost that caller. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation here on The Edge. Stay with us.
Transports you to Destination France for White Sands Parisian Soiree, featuring the White Swimsuit Competition. Spitmasters DJ Smudge and DJ Terra out of Circuits and DJ MJ of Dominica, Travis World and Loves out of Trinidad, and Bishop Escobar of Jamaica. Captivating performances by Sugar City's very own Booker's H.E. and David House and Mr. Mention. Appearing for the first time in St. Kitts, Dance on Jamaica. Performing his biggest hits, Jamaican dancehall sensation. And bringing the energy from Trinidad, Miguel Tasia. White Sands will be hosted by top DJ and radio personality Sweet Sister Sensia and Jamaican radio host DJ Spark. Tickets are just $120, paying $150 at the door. For online tickets, visit Carambola-Beach-Club.com. It's a French affair on Sunday, June 29th at Carambola Beach Club for the summer's hottest all-white party. White Sands Parisian Soiree.
Everybody charge up, we going high up, full of energy, energy. You've
worked hard to build your dream home. Now it's time to protect it with ICWI's A-Plus homeowners policy. From hurricane damage to unexpected losses, we've got you covered with the best homeowners protection in the region. Protect your most valuable asset with coverage for what matters most when it matters the most. ICWI, we know insurance. You know you're protected. ICWI, serving you is all we do. Click, call, or visit ICWI today. Visit us at 1C Bird Rock Road. Call 465-8753 or ICWI.com.
Welcome back to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program for today. It is 16 minutes past the 11 o'clock hour. For those of you who are just tuning in, I shared an update from the Culturama Committee regarding Emancipation Monday. They will still be having the long jam. We'll head back to the phone lines and we'll take this call. Caller, you're on the air.
Glad to hear your voice, Paul. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. And how are you doing?
Good. God bless. To see another milestone. The 12th. Sympathy for Culture used to be making you laugh. He was a listener.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like comedy. God had forgotten. For his family, the wife and his children and grandchildren. And big up Chico. Big up Chico that I there. He's celebrating today. The 12th. And my daughter was yesterday, Justin Dorset in Station. Celebrate yesterday. 11. Gemini. Station for my mom. God bless you for the work.
All right, you too, and thank you so much for your contribution to the program. We're accepting your calls, 467-1977 or 1903, giving you an opportunity to extend your condolences to the family and friends of Culture, and you get your thoughts as well on the two other topics that I've mentioned, or updates that I've provided as it relates to Culturama 51 and the plane crash there in India. I've seen some of the footage, and it is heartbreaking. A flight of more than 200 people, and we're getting reports that all have perished, and it crashed into a college, university, and killed some people on the ground as well. So that is really heartbreaking. I'm also seeing reports that some 53 British nationals were on board the flight, because the flight left India and was making its way to Gatwick there in London. And so we've seen King Charles and the UK Prime Minister both issuing statements on the tragedy. An investigation is underway to determine what exactly caused the crash. I think it was earlier this year, for about 2 weeks straight, almost every other day there was a plane crash. Almost every other day or something like that. But the statistics would show that travel via air is still the safest way possible to travel, which is something that people continue to debate. Let's head back to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning, Devon. How are you doing?
I am doing well, thank you. How about you?
Well, I'm giving God thanks, man. You know, you see how let me turn on the radio. How uncertain life is, eh?
Yes.
None of them on board or on the ground that would have been the last day.
Right.
That's why I encourage people, you know, you got to learn to let go of some things. Some people say, I ain't going to forgive so-and-so. You never know if you get a chance to come back. I travel on that airline, you know. So you can imagine all the excitement back in the UK, waiting for the family to come.
Right.
That could kill you. Well, I want to make my tribute for Culture. Culture is from the village, Buckley's Yard, exactly. He was one of our top cyclists. I think he went to the Olympics in 76, something like that. But he was well known, you know. Mm-hmm. But I like his sense of humor.
Yes.
He could find humor in anything. Anything. They said, Devonne, you know, he just called with him. Devonne.
He will be missed.
You know, and with GQ in the morning, with the club. Some of us need a little more joy, you know. Give somebody good memories of you. All I could think about you miserable. You know, some people only know to be miserable, you know.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
I know that.
I know that all too well. They're making people miserable. You ask them, how are you? Lord, things so bad. And then you need to go and watch the TV. I was listening last night. They were talking about the U.S. aid. And Trump cut a lot of the expenses. So they're saying that in Africa, starvation is coming up.
Right.
Because they've had so many conflicts, you know, this one have to cross the border. And they were expecting U.S. aid to provide help, to provide food, all in Gaza, and a lot of people in the world, you know. So when
how do you feel about
Trump
that,
and they lie down, and they see the number of people, it affects us too. Right. We had a lot of U.S. aid projects.
So how do you feel? How do you feel about the cut, the scale back from U.S. aid?
Yeah, for the food program. You know, even in America, sometimes we don't think about other people, you know. He well off. His friends well off. You heard he launched a program like our Aspire. Did you hear about it?
No, I haven't.
He and some of his rich friends. They call it Trump Invest.
I read something.
He said that the program will not be sponsored by the government. Mm-hmm. It will be sponsored by him and his friends, his friends, them. They put in $1,000 in their account, and it is going to be invested in his investment company, you know. I said, what is that? And it carried the name Trump. Trump Invest.
Yeah, I see it now. It says Trump Invest, Trump accounts will chart path to prosperity for a generation of Americans.
Yes, Lord. So if he lose power, what happened to guy named Trump Invest?
It's $1,000 for American babies.
They was born after the 24th of December. So not like ours from 5 to nothing. Praise the Lord. He carrying his name. So that means if you want to get your child in, you have to go and vote for him. And if he doesn't want to, the thing will collapse.
And I'm seeing also that he has launched Trump, what do you call it? The gold card, Trump gold card, which people say is similar to the CBA programs here in the region.
$45 million thing?
Yes.
Lord, when you're bigger. I mean, really, you know. So when they're pressuring us, you see, sometimes we need to speak up, you know. We need to speak up. Because, you see, I like how his own friend, my name?
Elon Musk.
By Jesus. I was praying for it, you know. I said, Lord God, said you could take down the mighty. They cause so much anguish among poor people. So much anguish. And they turn on each other. So, but all Trump said, Elon only going to answer because he can't get what he gets. I said, Lord, who is your friend? Who is your friend? The thing you say about him, really, man, with all of these sexual things, Devon, you pray and put your trust in God, yeah?
All right. Thank you so much, caller, for your contribution to the program. It is 11:24. We have a caller. Hello, caller. You're on the air. Good morning.
Hello, Devon.
Yes, caller, go ahead, speak up.
Yeah, I'd like to send out my condolences culture. And not just culture. The minister run without portfolio. And that is what he used to say. The minister run without portfolio. And that's how we used to go. I introduced himself when he died on the radio, but he was a good comedian at the same time, and a lot of people were missing. Yeah, so that's my defense.
All right, Carter, thank you so much for your contribution to the program. It's 11:25. The phone lines remain open, and we're taking your calls at 467-1977 or 1903 or at 662-8674. You are listening to The Edge for June 12th, Thursday, June 12th, 2025. I'm your host, Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me in the program for today. For those of you who have just tuned in, we're taking your calls. You can call and express your condolences to the family of culture. Let's take this call. Good morning, you're on the air.
Greetings.
Yes, go ahead, caller.
Okay, then the first thing we want to do is just what you said. We want to extend our more heartfelt condolences. We have some deaths in our families also. We want to extend condolences to the Freeman family. We want to extend condolences to Melvin, the passing of Joseph, Melvin and the others. Condolences to all. That is not a pleasant thing at all, you know. That's why we hate it, sir, you know. We still believe that, we know that we was not created to death. People say, well, death is a must, but we don't see it. We were created in the similitude of the Almighty, and the Almighty is immortal. And we can be immortal too, once we strive for that, you know. All right, the next thing we want to talk about is there's a designated area, which I call 420 area, which will be having at the music festival for smoking. Mm-hmm. So the organizers are saying that all smoking should take place there, including cigarettes. And we are saying no. Cannabis is what it is. Cigarette is what it is. There's no comparison. Absolutely none. Cigarette is a makeup thing. With all the whatever added. Cannabis is in its natural state. Apart from those who use this holy for stupidness named brown and all kind of stupidness. So we are saying that the organizer should go back to the table. We don't want to have no cigarette smoking in the 420 cannabis area. We don't want that. So please go forward to the organizing table and designate another place for cigarettes. We don't want no cigarette smoking in the cannabis area. Thank you very much for the time.
I mean, if it was up to me, no cigarette smoking at all. But that's a conversation for another day. Caller, thank you so much for your contribution to the program. I am receiving reports here from BBC that a man survived the Air India crash that killed at least 200 people, and the police commissioner there reports that that person was in seat 11A, and they survived the London-bound flight. Let's head back to the phone lines, and we'll take this call. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Yes, Devon, I want to send condolences along with my family, Eli, to the Florina Freeman family down in St. Paul's. They are my mother's relative, my mother's uncle, children, descendants, so Florina, and all the others. My condolence. Tomorrow will be my brother's birthday. My brother's Abba, Oliver Freeman. He has double amputation. Mm-hmm. You know, he worked at the bottling company for 45 years. But you know, when you're laid aside, sometimes people forget you. So I'm inviting and encouraging some of his old farmer workmates. Give him a call. The number is 465-7 7122. We call him Abba, quite a jovial person. And so, may God bless my brother. All those who are grieving, there are so many. So many people grieving in this country. We need to get our hearts right with God. Life is becoming more unstable. So, Oliver Abba, happy birthday in advance. All right then.
All right, caller, thank you for your contribution to the program. It's 11:30, and you're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. So, a man survived the Air India crash that killed at least 200 people, a police chief has told an Indian news agency, and he was seated on 11A on the London-bound flight. We have a caller. Let's take this call.
Yes, hello. Well, a blessed good morning. Good morning to everybody. And there was sympathy going out to culture and all of us, the loved ones, Miss Jones. And looking at this show where they're going to get some music festival with this man, with this amount of money. He better they give him money to build a house. It's a million where they're selling out all our money going back to
right, but caller, you cannot, have you verified the amount?
That's I see from somebody's Facebook. I remember how much.
Yeah, but we gotta verify it. We don't know if that is true, and we don't know if that is true, so we can't share it as if it is true. All right. All right. Thank you so much for your contribution to the program. Right, we gotta verify information before we share it. We see a figure and we can't assume that is the case. So the flight manifest shared by authorities said the passenger in that seat was British national Vishwash Kumar Ramesh. Indian media said they had spoken to Ramesh in hospital and reported him saying 30 seconds after takeoff, there was a loud noise and then the plane crashed. It all happened so quickly. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue the conversation here on The Edge. Stay with us.
Watch your step there, little man. That party's falling into the sea.
But Daddy, when it all slips into the sea, where will we live?
Well, son, that would take a long time. So let's not worry about that right now. Just enjoy the beach, okay?
Daddy, when Grandpa brought you to the beach, was it slipping in then?
I can't remember, but that shed over there was not so close to the water, so I guess so.
So Daddy, when I bring my children to the beach, will there even be a beach still? I learned all about climate change in school, and teachers said we have to change our habits or it would be even worse.
So, big man, what do you think we should do?
Really? Who is the daddy here anyway?
Okay. We will ask your teacher where she got her information, and then we'll do our own little part.
Good, because I want to keep coming to the beach with you, even when you're like 100.
Change your heart, change your habit. We the people can change how we approach the impact of climate change. A message of hope from Island Resilience, promoting a climate of change.
This is my land, my island, our home. It's time to come together to keep her forever resilient and strong.
Island Resilience, promoting a climate of change. The Climate Change Adaptation and Sustainable Land Management Initiative of the OECS Commission, funded by the European Union.
Go to islandresilience.org for more information or follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
On Sunday, June 29th from 4 p.m., Caramel Beach Club transports you to Destination France for White Sands Parisian Soiree! Featuring the White Swimsuit Competition. Spitmasters, DJ Smudge, DJ Terror out of Circuits and DJ MJ of Dominica, Travis World and Lubs out of Trinidad, and Bishop Escobar of Jamaica. Captivating Performances by Sugar City's very own Lucas H.E. and David House and Mr. Mention. Appearing for the first time in St. Kitts, Dancehall IT's Maker. Performing his biggest hits, Jamaican dancehall sensation, Rock. And bringing the energy from Trinidad, Miguel Tasia. White Sands will be hosted by top DJ and radio personality Sweet Sister Sensia and Jamaican radio host DJ Spark. Tickets are just $120, paying $150 at the door. For online tickets, visit Carambola-Beach-Club.com. It's a French affair on Sunday, June 29th at Carambola Beach Club for the summer's hottest all-white party. White Sands Parisian Soiree.
Everybody charge up, we going higher, full of energy.
You've worked hard to build your dream home. Now it's time to protect it with ICWI's A-Plus homeowners policy. From hurricane damage to unexpected losses, we've got you covered with the best homeowners protection in the region. Protect your most valuable asset with coverage for what matters most when it matters the most. ICWI, we know insurance. You know you're protected. ICWI, serving you is all we do. Click, call, or visit ICWI today. Visit us at 1C Bird Rock Road. Call 465-8753 or ICWI.com.
You're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for joining me on the program for today. The phone lines remain open at 467-1903 or 1977, and the cell number is 662-8674. Thank you for joining me on the program for today. Just before the break, I shared that the BBC is reporting that at least one person has survived the Air India plane crash, and according to authorities there, that person was in seat 11A on the London-based Boeing 787-8 flight, and according to the flight manifest shared by authorities, the passenger is Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, and according to him, it happened so quickly. 30 seconds after takeoff, there was a loud noise, and then the plane crashed. Indian media said he shared his boarding pass, which showed his name and seat number, and the Commissioner of Police told local news that the survivor has been in the hospital and is under treatment. There were 169 Indian nationals, 53 British nationals, 7 Portuguese nationals, and 1 Canadian on the Gatwick Airport-bound flight, Air India said. The plane crashed into accommodation used by doctors less than a minute after takeoff. In a statement, the King and the Queen said they were desperately shocked by the terrible events that took place in India. Our special prayers and deepest possible sympathy are with the families and friends of all those affected by this tragic incident across so many nations as they await news of their loved ones, the statement added. Meanwhile, UK Foreign Secretary David Lammy has arranged crisis teams in India and the UK. He told local media, and I quote, "We know that British nationals were on board, and I can confirm that the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office is working urgently with local authorities to support British nationals and their families, and has stood up a crisis team, or set up a crisis team in both Delhi and in London." It's 11:39. The phone lines remain open, and we are taking your calls here on The Edge for 12 June 2025. More news from St. Kitts and Nevis. The permanent mission of St. Kitts and Nevis to the Organization of American States, represented by Consular and Alternative Representative Chanel Simmons, participated in the official signing ceremony of a cooperation agreement between the government of the Republic of China, Taiwan, and 3 Caribbean nations, marking the launch of the Eco Youth Ventures project. This regional initiative aims to promote sustainable tourism and empower young people through education, innovation, and entrepreneurship. Delivering remarks on behalf of Ambassador Jacinth Henry Martin, Consular Simmons addressed the theme Perspectives on STEM, Education for Sustainability in the Caribbean. She emphasized the vital role of science and technology, environmental stewardship, and youth-led innovation in advancing the Caribbean's sustainable development goals. The Republic of China Taiwan continues to be an invaluable partner of St. Kitts and Nevis in supporting our push to become a 100% sustainable island state by 2040. To learn more about this, you may visit Taiwan's website, Taiwan to promote sustainable tourism in 3 Caribbean islands, and you will get more details on that initiative. The phone lines are open, and we're accepting your calls. Call and share your condolences with the family and friends and loved ones of culture who made a contribution towards the national conversation here in St. Kitts and Nevis. Politics, other social issues, crime and violence, anything that you spoke about culture. He called and he made a contribution, and a meaningful contribution at that. And as other callers have rightly said, he had a sense of humor. He'd always try to find a way to light up the room and to add something positive towards the conversation. And so he will be missed. His voice, which was very unique and distinct, will also be missed. And I pray that his family, his friends, his loved ones find comfort during this difficult time. But with culture's passing, it is really important for us to check up on our loved ones, check up on people. It doesn't necessarily have to be a relative. It could be a friend, a family friend, or whatever, but check up on people to ensure that they are doing okay. A phone call goes a long way. A text, something, it goes a long way. And, the record will show that you did your part. You called, you text, you reached out to them to see how they were doing. Because life is very unpredictable. As the caller rightly said, that flight was making its way to London, and there were people perhaps waiting at the airport to receive their loved ones, whether those who were returning home, the 53 British nationals, or those who were perhaps going for vacation and they were meeting or waiting to meet their family members. And in less than 30 seconds, hundreds of them, more than 200 reports indicate, have lost their lives. That is really tragic. Our Foreign Affairs Minister, Dr. Denzel Douglas, has joined other world leaders in expressing condolences as well with regards to the plane crash. We have a caller on the line. Caller, you're on the air. Good morning.
Good morning, Devonne. Good morning.
Yes, how are you doing today?
It's a long time I get to listen to this program, because of how things be, and with the animals, the man say,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, first, I want to send my condolences out to the family of Winston Benjamin, better known as Culture, and his wife Joan over there in Lodge. I want to send my condolences go to them, because Culture was a really humorous man. Gave a lot of jokes, where he goes to tell on the radio, in his delivery, politics or whatever. You know, he was a man for that. He was a real radio personal. And he didn't do it when he think it. He said do it in his state and radio talk show too. So I just want to send my condolences out to the family. He's going to be missing because, you know, he keep the blow doing on the radio. And, you know, and the next thing again, Devon, with these plane crashing. What do you think about these plane crashing, Devon?
Well, it's man-made, and anything man-made will malfunction. Of course, you know, there are safety measures and features in place for our own safety, but anything that is man-made will malfunction.
Back in my time, coming up in the 70s, right? I never hear plane crash so far here. When you do hear plane crash, it might take about maybe every 5 years you hear plane crash or something. I don't know if it is because of this climate change and different things and how they close them and everything to be. Sometimes they can't see where they're going or whatever. Because, you know, the whole world full of pollution now, especially like China and them places where they make all these vehicles and the air full of pollution and, you know. So I don't know. So, you know, it's sad to hear that. How much people was on the flight?
230 passengers and 12 crew members.
And everybody died?
At least one person has survived, according to the BBC, and that's a British national.
Well, my condolences go to the family, them to those people who die and who get ill and whatever, because, you know, we got people out here too, and they could have found the same flight, you know.
Right.
So we just got to do what we got to do and say what we got to say in the best that we can uplift anybody, any family out there who get hurt. Okay, then, never take care.
All right, you to call, and thank you so much for your contribution to the program. Take care of yourself. It's 11:47, and you're listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio, 96.1 FM. Phone lines remain open at 467-1903 or at 1977. Or call us at 662-8674. If you have no calls, we'll take this break, and when we come back, we'll wrap up the conversation for today. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Listen, you hear the song? It's Nostalgia on ZIZ Radio from 1 to 3 in the afternoon on Thursdays. On Nostalgia, everybody has a good voice, so relax and go in the zone with us. Get your songbook, look in the index, find the song that is playing, and sing along. Join ZIZ Radio every Thursday from 1 to 3 for Nostalgia. It's music to soothe you right where it hurts. ZIZ Radio, touching you with variety and style.
Watch the creep up. Look out! Look out! This is it! Something new, something fresh, something exciting! Jump off show on ZIZ Radio with the man Chico. Yo! Every Monday to Thursday, Chico will be in the house with the 3 to 6 minutes. So tell your neighbors, tell your friends about this exciting show on ZIZ Radio, the Jump Off Show. Every Monday to Thursday, 3 to 6. Don't miss it. While the others give you some, we give you more. Right here on ZIZ Radio. Watch the people.
Welcome back to the Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. I'm Devonne Cornelius, and thank you for tuning into the program for today. For those of you who may have just tuned in, I began with sharing condolences or extending condolences to the family of Culture as they mourn his passing. Family, loved ones, friends, all who knew him, all who would have been around him, all who worked with him, all who were influenced and impacted by his presence. Condolences to you. And from the Culturama 51 or Culturama Committee regarding the Emancipation Juve jump up, they issued a statement clarifying whether there would be long jam on Monday, August 4th, otherwise known as Emancipation Monday or Emancipation Day, whatever you want to call it. Emancipation Monday, Emancipation Day. And their clarification statement, it comes on the heels of a statement from Core Entertainment stating that they won't be having a long jump troupe. And so that is the clarification. They will be on the long jump route, but they won't be having a troupe. And the Air India plane crash there in India, which has killed more than 200 people. I'm seeing reports coming out of India that more than 200 bodies have since been recovered, and at least one person has survived the crash, and they were seated in 11A. BBC has shared an image of the British national Vishwash Kumar Ramesh, and you can see where he has bruises all over his body and face, and according to the statement, he is currently in the hospital undergoing treatment, and so far he is the only person who survived the plane crash at news time. We will continue to follow this and provide more updates as they become available. Our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Dr. Denzel Douglas, has joined other world leaders and foreign ministers in extending condolences to the people of India and of the United Kingdom with regards to this tragic incident. And of course, an investigation has been launched to determine what happened. How did the plane crash? And we will continue to follow this development. Thank you guys so much for joining today's conversation. As usual, it is always good to engage with you, the listeners of this program, whether you are here in St. Kitts and Nevis or across the Caribbean region or further afield. Thank you for tuning in, and thank you for your contribution to the discussion. As I normally do, I encourage our road users to don't drink and drive, don't text and drive, and please take it easy. Texting and driving and drinking and driving are two of the most common causes of fatal accidents here in St. Kitts and Nevis, and I would say globally. People are driving and they can't make up their minds as to whether they want to reply to a WhatsApp or if they want to maneuver the vehicle. And I'm pleading and I'm begging with our road users to please be cautious, exercise extreme caution. Do not get intoxicated and then try to maneuver a vehicle. You will lose that fight. And please don't text and drive. Remember, you're not using the road for your own self, but be mindful of other road users. Be mindful of the pedestrians, especially our children who are back and forth on the road, trying to get to school and so on. So drivers, please, I beg of you to take it easy. You've been listening to The Edge here on ZIZ Radio 96.1 FM. We'll pause now or break now for the midday newscast, which comes up in less than 5 minutes. Until next time, you guys stay safe and continue to enjoy the rest of your Thursday. Goodbye.